Okay, hey, we're live. This is Andy Morbitzer, CEO of Panther Strategies, and I want to take a time out here tonight and go through an overview of what we have to offer here at Panther: real-world asset protection, long-term wealth strategies, and rare, prestigious opportunity. So as we get started here, as you come to get to know Nicole and I, pictured there, Spain. We're the founders of Panther. We have no loans, no outstanding debts. Everything's paid for. We're debt free. And it all came down to how we got started, where we wanted to go, why we brought this platform to market. And really, it was about the lessons we learned over the last decade or so as we looked forward to retirement age and looked at diversifying and, living a nice golden retirement. So as you'll see through some of these pictures that we see, that to us, it's all about what do we own, maintain, and control as far as our money. Who are we going to do business with? Who can we trust in this big world? Because there's a lot of fraud and there's a lot of activities that, quite honestly, we were uncertain of what to do, where to go. So we dug in, we started researching, and we started traveling around the world. And we met some great people from, Panama to Austria and everywhere in between. But these are just a couple of pictures of our travels, where we went, some of the families that we've met here in Germany, where we do some of our strategic metals, where we do some of our vaulting and duty-free zones. So these are just some of the places and acquaintances that we've met along the way, because we're the type of people that if we're going to do business with somebody, because understand, this is what we have put our retirement dollars in as well. This is how we've structured ourselves, how we've diversified, and how we've become bulletproof. And that's key in this ever-changing world of volatility that we live in. I'm glad that we went down to Panama. It was several years ago. We were ready to write a big checkbook in hand. And I'm glad we went down, checked out the offices, did some background on some of the people that were involved, and the things that came back, well, of course, were red flags. So we dug deeper, and then, we make it our policy if we, especially finance. I mean, you're talking about my retirement, my generational wealth passing down, to the kids and grandkids. And this is big business. This is big boy network marketing. This is things that we do. So it comes down to us for it's trust. We're going to go meet the people. So every offer or offering that we bring to market, we've met the CEOs, we've visited the vaults, we've seen the structure of the company, we've met some of the families, we've had dinners, and so forth. So we've been to Panama, Singapore. Here's some guys that CEO of the Singaporean Mint and his partner. We got together there at the House of Johnny Walker, where they sell very, very nice, fine whiskeys, some nice real property assets. So this is just some of our travels. Here we are again in Singapore. We believe that Singapore and the Pacific Rim will be the next Wall Street, if you will, for sure the Pacific Rim, if not the world, here in the next decade or so. Their monetary and fiscal policies are like no other. They have solvent banks. They pay interest on their bank accounts. So all these places that we've been, Dubai, you can't deal in gold and those types of things without visiting Dubai and having some contacts there. Hong Kong, of course, international hub for business, great for international banking, a very strong Hong Kong dollar is one of the most strong fiat currencies on the planet. Let's see what else we got. And then, back to the old stomping grounds. Everybody's got to go to New York, see where it all began. And that was kind of our travels. Here we are, Arizona. This is some of the guys from the Scottsdale Mint. And let's see, Jack G and his wife we met. And then Acapulco, we were down there just really resting and relaxing, looking at some property, those types of things. So we've traveled around, and this is just our hometown. I'm from Ohio. Nicole's from Toronto. We have residents in both places. and that is a undisclosed vault. Let's put it that way. But nevertheless, let's get into it real quick, and I'll talk about the problem. The problem is really there's a lot of things that are attacking what I call the American empire. We've been the de facto currency now for 150 years, since the British Empire, which really ceased about mid 1870s or thereabouts. So the United States and central banking, and then it became really a formality down in Jekyll Island, down in 1913, where you had the elite and the central banker and the billionaires of the day went down and pretty much created the fiat currency and the Ponzi scheme that we know today. And they're always manipulating, adding, and printing, and fiat currencies have never worked in the past. 4,000 in history, absolutely do not work. So inflation, this is something that is always counteracts your purchasing power. It's always declining. The US dollar, in that reign of what's been about 100 years, it's lost some estimates up to 97% of its purchasing power. And at the end of the day, inflation is nothing more than a fancy word for tax. It really hurts the people that are on fixed incomes, retirees, because they're set in the amount of money that they get paid on a monthly basis, but the cost of goods and services continues to just rise at such a level. You know, the cost of housing, their medical bills, they simply can't survive. So it's very crucial that you understand what inflation is. Debt's at an all-time high, worldwide debt, consumer debt, student loan debt, personal debt, and the repercussions of free money will be felt over the next decade. And you can see it in just about every industry that you look at, from a bubbled stock market to bubbled real estate. So there's some real concerns around the world. And this isn't just a problem here in North America, the Western world. This is the world has never been in such debt that it is right now. And the scary thing about it is we can't expand our GDPs, our gross domestic product, and the world's printed tens of trillions of dollars, and the ecosystem of consumption, that sooner or later that model has been proven not to work. So interest rates, I mean, money's free. Be very careful with interest rates, because as interest rates start to go back up, the service of the amount of money that you actually pay on the debt is going to rise to a very unmanageable level for most small businesses, companies, anybody on an adjustable rate. Quite dangerous. Get into a fixed rate, get rid of debt. So we have all these things that are very scary to our money. You look at negative interest rates, and the big one being of the last two bullet points here, there's approximately $25 trillion in bond that is paying negative interest. 20 central banks around the world, negative interest. So they're desperate for cash. They're desperate for expansion of the monetary system. You look at negative interest rates. Think about what happens when interest rates go up to your credit cards too. It affects just about everything. And I've dealt with many different indices, from Forex to LIBORs to in my past. But you look at negative interest rates, you're paying the bank to hold your money. It's an archaic, expensive ecosystem. That's what's making cryptocurrency and Bitcoin so popular these days, is this performa of, or this experiment, this grand experiment of the world of, again, another fiat currency debacle. The reign of the dollar has been supreme. I mean, fast forward 21st century, it really dominated quite nicely, but everything's starting to come unraveled. The banks, negative interest rates, you know, you get hit with ATM, wire fees, checks, insufficient funds, minimum balances, transaction fees. It's no wonder people don't like the banks. I mean, it's pretty obvious. So real estate bubble again, the same thing that went on in 2008 as far as expanding monetary supply. You've got to understand, loans expand monetary supply. That is the function of the bank. if they're not constantly expanding monetary supply, then the Ponzi scheme collapses. That's why they bailed out Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, the car industry in 2008. But now the problem's worse. They're back at their old tactics, doing the same thing that caused the problems in 2008. But now it's worse because the banks are insolvent. They're in worse shape as far as reserves go than they were 10 years ago. We tend to not learn a thing from our past. So they're bundling free money over median price, stock market bubble. I really won't get into the stock market bubble simply because it could be a webinar in and of itself. Just know that when you see the highest price to earnings ratio in history, or really close to it, that the value or the value proposition of the risk versus reward in the stock market is quite daunting. It's probably not where you want to have all your money. Now, am I saying take all your money out of the stock market and put it into X? No, I'm saying take a little bit of profit off the top. Same thing with cryptocurrency. Take a little bit of money off the top, diversify, hedge. Last week was a perfect example of why you hedge, why you want gold, why you want silver, why you might want strategic metals. Because the paper asset world, when it has a shock, and that's what gold and silver and strategic metals are, they're shock absorbers, they're hedges. So when the fiat money asset vehicles that you use to retire and earn dividends has a crash like it did yesterday, third worst day in trading in history, when you lose 1,000 points in a day and a half, that's considerable amount of money that was sold off. Happened in the cryptocurrency as well. So these are the reasons why it pays to diversify, to have assets in different jurisdictions and under different regulatory authority. Central bankers, really this is the one common denominator of people who control the money, people who make the laws, people who make horrendous investments with your money and now charge you an interest to let them use your money in the bank. They really control, and I'll go as far as manipulate markets. In a fair and equitable market, you wouldn't see the gross negligence that you see. I think central bankers are coming to realize, and I think there's a movement around the world that the trust is gone. You see headlines every week of different banks, with fraudulent accounts, making up accounts, and so forth. So the fiat world is very scary right now. Stagnant wages. When adjusted for inflation, you have no more purchasing power than what you had in 1975. So the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. Well, as long as, because you got to understand, production increases, but wages stay stagnant. There's a great disparity between the haves and the have-nots, and that usually leads to civil unrest and so forth. But I'm a firm believer that poverty, this right here, you can read back from biblical times. Over time, the masses, and this has been true about just about the masses at some point rise up and will make great change. All great change throughout history has come from the masses, not elected officials. There comes a point in time, an equilibrium, if you will, that the inequities that are present around the world, slowly but surely, when people experience enough pain, they rise up, they band together. And this is true to a lot of third world countries around the world. Heck, it's here right here in the United States. Wages are stagnant. You've got people that are unbanked that live on cash only. They're on social programs. I mean, it's happening all over the place. So we have a lot of issues that need to be taken seriously and really in such a way that I think what we've come forth with here with Panther Strategies is invaluable because we offer the solution. An Atlas 4G educational platform and Panther Strategies, the income platform. They work side by side. Even though they're independent entities, here's the solution. For years, for a decade now, I've heard people in network marketing say, I wish I just had an honest company. Well, we're that company. I'm here, I'm transparent, I'm accessible. We're what I believe teaching good, honest, to the best of our ability, facts about markets, about macroeconomics. We're going to go from the oldest money in the world, from the Bible, gold and silver, to the newest money in the world, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and altcoins, and everything in between. So as we get started here, Panther Strategies, it was really for wealth accumulation purposes. Commodities like gold and silver, income real estate, these are cornerstone assets that have been relied upon to safely grow wealth during troubled times. There's certain assets that always perform well, whether it's good times, bad times, or indifferent. The whole key to surviving and thriving the next decade is a platform like Panther Strategies, where it allows you to earn an additional income, have a plan B, and oh, by the way, just about every strategy, every product that we have is money. It's an alternative form of money, alternative form to investing. It has nothing to do with paper, derivative securities, stocks, bonds. Everything we do is real property. And now you have, in the very first time in history, you have access to some of these real property assets that have never been offered. It was only offered to the rich. So we created with Panther, and we offer 7 different ways to get paid. The direct sales reward, 5 to 15% for any personally sponsored individuals. We have Club Forge rewards, which is our, when you get 500 points to the left and 500 points to the right, you earn 30 to 80 euros every time you forge. And our forge is a cycle. Club matching bonus. This is great for you that out there that love to recruit and get in knee deep and go to battle and build a business. We have club matching bonuses, 5, 7, and 10%, 3 generations. And then we have a beautiful car bonus that can be 300, 1,250 euros per month. And I mean, wow, look at this, beautiful. Now this is Nicole's dream car. And I know she wants one, and I'm surprised we haven't got one already. I guess we're being prudent. Since we do have 2 kids and a family, it's not the ideal sports camp, but what an incentive, what a beautiful car. And it's, a thank you for a job well done. And that's another way that we get paid. So Panther car bonus, 300 to 1,250 per month. And then number 5, Panther career bonus. Panther career bonus is not only what you achieved in a month, but it's your total body of work. And this pays anywhere from 200 euros to 50,000 euros per month. And we also have Panther Wealth Portfolio, where we pay you 10% of your earnings will go into a product of your choice. It will help you start dollar cost averaging, setting up an international savings account, having assets abroad. It's the whole principle, it's the whole core competency of what we are, is to help you become a global entity, become bulletproof, to be prepared for, well, what will be a challenging decade to come. And then number 7, real property asset appreciation. So when we look at this, we have 6 ways that you get paid for work or earning commissions. And then we've got the number 7 way, which might be the best way, is not only do you earn and learn and protect and hedge and save, you also have a very great chance, aggressively optimistic, that understanding investing is looking at what the future is going to be. What's initial, what's demand, what's supply, and then making rational decisions from there. That's why we came up with Atlas Forge. It's knowledge is power. And we offer true strategies of wealth. And we started with strategic metals. Strategic metals is a one-of-a-kind, unique offering that you can acquire, that you own, maintain, and control. And before we came to market, Panther Strategies, Atlas Forge. Now we're the only entities that I know that sell these strategic metals below $50,000 or $100,000. This was always set aside for industrial investors and the like. So we're very happy to please. This is Strategic Metals Month, gallium, dysprosium oxide, hafnium. We also are going to offer rhenium, germanium, indium. So we have 6 wonderful. We dominate the market. We're the only game in town. We're first to market. We're unique. They're rare. They're in high demand, and demand for everything that we lay out. The future looks brilliant because every one of these strategic metals is used in ways that you can't even conceive of now. When you look in the future 10 years, everything is going to have chips and microchips and be solar powered and so forth. So the need for these strategic metals will become very, very valuable in my opinion. Precious metals, we offer the precious metals, and then we have our own. We have Panther Strategies, where we have certi-lock, which is our tamper-resistant authentication for precious metals. And we talk about certi-lock. It's tamper-proof. It's trackable by smartphone app. It's encrypted. It has code. It has QR code. It's just a great security device and feature. Whereas I think in the future it'd be very prudent to have the ability to identify, validate, and track your holdings in gold. So we love certi-lock. And then we move into Panther. Here's some of our 10-ounce Panther Strategies, 10 troy ounce stacker bars. They're beautiful. The dies were made and minted with the Scottsdale mint, and we chose them simply because their quality is the best I've seen. So we're offering all these different real property strategies, real properties products. We have diamonds in queue, and we have a couple of exciting real property opportunities and different things that you can acquire that the world's never seen. We'll be first to the market with those, just like strategic metals. So we've got a lineup, a powerhouse full of products, knowledge, experts from around the world. And that's really what Panther's about. It's about a long-term platform that gives people the ability to learn, engage, to do what we do. Use the people we've used that are proven and trusted and vetted. So that's what really Panther Strategies is all about. And, you know, we have charities where we give a percentage of our revenue and funds to helping the kids. Save the Children and Big Cat Rescue are for endangered, abused, or big cats down in Florida. So we're supporting both of those. It's totally optional. But I feel like giving back, it feels good from the heart to help kids around the world. They are the future. And as we train people about real property, real money, we're advocates of this. We think that survival and thriving the next decade or two will be challenging, but as we've presented here, we have the solutions. So it's all about diversification and owning and maintaining and controlling your own money, in essence, being your own bank. That's what we're offering with Panther Strategies. And to end this call here, get back in touch with the person who shared this presentation with you. Secure a position in the Panther Club, you know, today, so you can start and earn residual passive income while protecting yourself and your loved ones. Puma membership and higher receive a lifetime 3% discount on strategic metals. That means a paid membership within Panther Strategies in the club rewards. You're actually going to get a discount for strategic metals. It is Strategic Metals Month, so we're enjoying it a lot. Enjoy the lifestyle. Enjoy everything that we've presented. We want to be that trusted, vetted, reliable place that you can go for good, factual information. Because it's a gathered experts around the world to assist us in our achieving our goal of really becoming independent, being self-reliant, being self-sufficient. That's why we built Panther Strategy. So enjoy the website, get back with the person who shared this with you, and thanks. So this is Andy and Nicole, or Andy for this webcam, signing off. So have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon.